What's going on, my Cardano friends? It's your friend Jack here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the max supply of Cardano and why it doesn't really matter. And I also want to talk about grayscale and institutional money and outline some facts that might be interesting to you. Now, this is episode number 7 of Cardano Daily. And with that being said, let's get right into it. But first, if you do want to earn passive ADA paid every 5 days or every epoch, start staking with MBSTX to also support the channel. But first things first, I want to cover this video from Charles. It's a 3-minute clip of 2018 clip from December 22nd talking about the max supply of Cardano and why it doesn't actually matter in terms of the long run and comparing it to gas. So we're going to watch this clip. It's 3 minutes, but it's a really good clip if you want to understand why I don't think the max supply actually matters, directly from Charles himself. With that being said, let's watch the clip.
So I love these questions. Charles, why was the max supply of ADA 45 billion chosen instead of a smaller supply, considering Bitcoin is 21 million? What's so extraordinary to me is the arbitrariness of this decision and how people just don't seem to comprehend that we're playing with decimal points. So if anyone conceptually thinks there's too much ADA in circulation, I'd like you to do this. Instead of thinking about ADA, let's create a new currency. We'll call it Killa ADA. And instead of there being 45 billion, there's only 45 million of them. And it's worth 1,000 times more than ADA. So instead of 4 cents, worth a lot more. Would you say, wow, that's the currency for me? Well, you can just do that. You take your ADA and you move the decimal point. In Bitcoin, you can do the exact same thing. You say, no, there's not enough Bitcoin in circulation. So instead of having 21 million Bitcoin, let's have 21 billion Bitcoin. And we'll call them millibitcoins. There you go, millibits. And now we have 21 billion. We've moved the decimal points, and it's worth 1,000 times less. So it's math. You can just move one direction or the other. It has no effect or bearing on the price. Investing based upon this, those people are not the people you should be listening to, and those people are not the people that should be driving the price of the system up and down. The price should come with people's adherence to the philosophy and vision of the system, the governance of the system, and the actual consumption and real use case and utility of the system. Like gasoline. No one looks at gasoline and says, well, there's just too many gallons of gasoline in circulation. We need to cut it down a little bit by a factor of 10. There you go. Or have a gasoline burn. Let's go set half the world's supply of gas on fire so we can make the price of gas go up. It's insanity. It's utility. It's commodity. You use it to do stuff. And ADA is much the same way. If we do our job right, we have this beautiful dApp store and tens of thousands of dApps that are running. ADA is the fuel there, and that fuel will run that decentralized infrastructure, and it will enable things that couldn't have been enabled before in ways that couldn't be done before, and by natural consequence of consumption of that, just like when Ford puts more cars on the road, just like when you see more tractor trailers hauling things, just like when you see more power plants burning natural gas, the price of these things go up because you have more demand relative to supply. And people take bets on that. But it doesn't automatically just change because we decided to move a decimal point. That's meaningless, and that's not what ought to guide marketplaces. So if you think there's too many ADA, go buy Killa ADA, and tell me how great your portfolio is doing. I hear you can get it at a great price.
Just as Charles said, ADA is a commodity, and I really like the way he outlined these points in this clip from his AMA 2 years ago, over 2 years ago. So this is an old AMA, but it's a really interesting clip, and all the points he made still stand today. Cardano's trying to make it into something more than just a currency or a token, and it's also not going to matter how many are in supply when dApps, thousands of dApps are using Cardano to build off of in terms of the network and everything Cardano offers. It's going to be a commodity, not something you just move the decimal place for to make your price more comfortable for you, or more comfortable for you the price or the amount of max supply is really not that relevant in the long run. Now, one more thing I want to look at is Wall Street eyeing Cardano. So this is a little bit of an article that I'm not going to read through, but some things I want to outline is that this article does say Cardano, third largest holding on Grayscale. Kind of a misleading title, and a few days ago I did cover the Grayscale news, but I also want to show you guys why it's not as big as I thought. It is still really important for the headlines and to get the news around Cardano. Grayscale publicly announcing this is really good for them too in terms of good publicity. But 4.26 allocation into their diversified fund. Okay, so keep that in mind. And also one more thing, will smart contracts additions lead to a high profile partnerships with big institutional investors? Possibly. That's really the answer there. No one really knows. So I don't have a magic ball or anything, but I want to show you guys some interesting things on Grayscale, which I did notice from a fellow Cardano YouTuber. If you want to go check him out, I'll leave his video link down in the description, him talking about Grayscale. But essentially, Grayscale doesn't have a Cardano trust, okay? They have a Bitcoin trust with, a lot of money under management, 21 billion under management. So that just goes to show you they have an Ethereum trust with, 6 billion under management. They even have what is it called? A Filecoin trust, a Horizon trust, a Decentraland trust, but they don't have a Cardano trust. But what they do have is a diversified large cap fund with, 1/3 of a billion under management. So nothing crazy. Not even 1/6 of Ethereum's single asset fund. And then of this 1/3 of $1 billion, 4.25% of that is Cardano. So keep that in mind. Yes, it was a huge announcement, lots of hype, but there is another way to look at it, and that is it's not quite as big as we thought. I still really think it's a great thing. I just don't think this institutional investment is going to boost Cardano as much as people want. But smart contracts and everything coming to Cardano network and then building is good. That's what's going to build the Cardano price, the Cardano network. That is what's going to do things. The dApps coming out, the real world use cases, the commodity aspect is what's going to build the price up, and not necessarily institutional investors. Institutional investors will play a vital role in bringing news to the platform, but Cardano's platform has to be really good. It has to serve use cases once it gets that publicity to actually, deliver on the things it needs to do. So that's the most important part, is the Cardano aspect of it being ready for mass adoption, being ready for people to use. And that's what's going to make it grow, not really institutional investors putting money into it. The people building Cardano and make it grow, but institutional money is going to help get new investors attracted to it and get people on board, which is always going to be a big vital role in the whole grand scheme of things for mass adoption, and Cardano playing a huge space in providing a better financial operating system, more transparent financial operating system for the entire world. So very important stuff still, but that's all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button and please consider subscribing if you want to see more daily Cardano content. Thank you so much for watching. It's been your friend Jack. Peace out.